This is the Satipatthana Sutta. Please try to chant with me. Evam me suttam ekam samayan bhagava kurusu vyarati kammasa dhammam nama kurunam nigamo tatra ko bhagava bhikkhu amantesi bhikkhavoti badante tite bhikkhu bhagavato paccasosam bhagava etadavoca ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo sattanam visuddhiya sukha paritavanam samatikamaya dukkha domanassanam attangamaya nyayassa adhigamaya nibbanassa satchikiriyaya yadidam cattaro satipatthana katame cattaro ida bhikkave bhikkhu kaye kayanupassī vihārati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vineyya loke avijjā domanassaṃ vedanāsu vedanānupassī viharati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vineyya loke avijjā domanassaṃ citte cittanupassī viharati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vineyya loke avijjā domanassaṃ dhammesu dhammanupassī viharati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vineyya loke avijjā domanassaṃ. Continue a little bit. Katanca bhikkave bhikkhu kaye kayanupassī vihārati ida bhikkave bhikkhu aranyagato va rukkhamūlagato va suññāgaragato va Digam va passasanto, digam passakamiti pajanati, rasam va assasanto, rasam assasamiti pajanati, rasam va passasanto, rasam passasamiti pajanati, sabbakaya patisamveti, asasisa miti sikkati, sabbakaya patisamveti, pasasisa miti sikkati, pasambayam kaya sankaram, asasisa miti sikkati, pasambayam kaya sankaram, pasasisa miti sikkati. Now I'll try to explain to you the meaning of this. I think because you have already had some meditation, we will devote this hour to the practice, why we should meditate and how we should meditate, and discuss the advantages, and not only for Nibbana but also for daily living. Why it is so important? When you concentrate the mind, you become very alert in your thinking. So you think only what you want to think. You don't think what you don't want to think. And there is so much conservation of energy, time, money, because you get rid of all excesses and you do just right. Not too much, not too little. So it is of great advantage. So I will now try to explain the meaning of this chant. Evam me sutam ekam samayam bhagava. The Buddha, the Bhagava, was living in Kuru country. Kuru country is supposed to be modern Delhi in India. And that place was very prosperous. People had enough to eat and they were very rich. And the Buddha gave the Satipatthana Sutta to these people. So I think here in England, all of you are economically stable. And for you, the Satipatthana is ideal. Maybe more so than back home in Sri Lanka. So I would particularly wish you will stay with the Satipatthana. Kammasa Dhamma Nama Guruna, that was the name of that, not the main town of Kuru, but a small townlet called Nigama. Then the bhikkhu, the Buddha addressed the monks, but this is a wrong interpretation. When the Buddha says bhikkhu, it is not that there are only bhikkhus. In the congregation, there were bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, upasaka, upasika. But because the monks were in front, he addressed the monks. And also, the word bhikkhu who can be interpreted in different ways. Sansare bhaya ikkatiti bhikkhu. Anyone who is fearful of the round of rebirth in samsara is a bhikkhu. I think all of us are bhikkhus. That explanation fits us. So, we can consider ourselves fit to listen and practice this Satipatthana. Satipatthana is really vipassana, and Satipatthana is wisdom. And only a Buddha teaches Satipatthana. Before the Buddha, nobody knew Satipatthana. And this is the direct way for emancipation. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave maggo. Ekayano means there's one and only way, and this is the way. Magga means the way. Satthana visuddhya, for the purification of beings. Now we know when we have to purify our body, we can use plenty of soap and water. But how can you purify the mind? This purification of the mind comes through the practice of Satipatthana. Satthana visuddhya means purification of the mind. Soka paridhavana samatikkamaya, for the overcoming of pain and suffering. Dukkha domanasana attangamaya, for the overcoming of physical, mental distress, pain and suffering. Nyayasa adhigamaya, for reaching out to the Eightfold Path. This is preliminary to the path. Anyone who wants to enter into the path may go through this Satipatthana way, the one and only way. Nibbanasa Satchikiriyaya, and for final liberation in Nibbana. Yadinam Chattaro Satipatthana. These four foundations of Satipatthana is very effective. So the Buddha has specifically mentioned that the four Satipatthanas are for you to practice in order to overcome physical, mental stress and to overcome pain and suffering, to get into the path, and for the attainment of Nibbana. Katame chattaro, what are the four? Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu, kaye kayanu virasi. You live contemplating on the body contemplation. Many, many ways of contemplating on the body. So, Anapanasati is a body contemplation, in and out breathing. It revolves around the body. And the 32 impurities of the body, then like how you dissect your body into the various parts, and then you contemplate on that. Then the four elements, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, also body contemplation. Patavi with the hardness, the liquidity, water, food. Hardness is really the food. Liquid, Apo is water. Tejo is the heat. Vayu is air that we breathe. Now we will soon find that when you are in Kayanupassana, that is body contemplation, you become very intelligent, very wise, especially now these 4 elements, that the body consists of 4 elements. I'm sure you must be quite familiar with it. When we came into this world, we had to depend on the 4 elements. Food. If you don't eat food, you die. Now, for our life, is it my life or food? That is it me or food? If there is no food, we die, in spite of me. Is it me or air? If there is no air for breathing, we die. Is it me or heat? If the heat is too much, we will be burned to ash. If the heat is too little, we will be frozen dead. Is it me or water? Because the body consists of about 80% or more of water. If you don't drink water enough, you get dehydrated and you die. So these are the 4 elements. The more we probe into these, the more we can understand what this life is about. If we have to depend on the outside elements for our life, what is the position of me? Mine. So you become very intelligent about this non-self nature. Me has nothing to do. It's only a convention. He has to depend on water. He has to depend on the elements, outside elements, food, air, heat, all those elements. If not, we die. So contemplation on this body gives you wisdom. You start thinking, where is me? What is the function of me? There are many other ways of looking at this body. I'm sure you are familiar with the in and out breathing. So much you can understand through this in and out breathing. That it is a life-giving force. You start breathing at the moment you are born, and without a stop you need to breathe, day and night. Even if you are under anesthesia, you still breathe. It can be a conscious process, it can be an unconscious process. And the last thing you do when you die, it will be either an in-breath or an out-breath. That is the last thing. So the Buddha makes use of this breath for us to have a constant object for meditation. We don't have to, because the breath is always with us. We don't have to run somewhere or sit somewhere or stand somewhere or have some special place or anything. Anywhere, everywhere. If you have a few minutes to spare, you can concentrate on the breath. And it gives you so much. Not only that you become concentrated and able to think what you want to think and able to not think what you don't want to think. You become disciplined. It's a discipline of the mind. So the mind does not stray. The mind does not go into the past. The mind does not go into the future. The mind is trained to stay in the present. And then you will realize when you stay in the present, you're always aware of the work at hand. And in daily living, it is so useful. You do a better job, an efficient job, with full concentration on the job. So you enjoy it. You don't get angry, you don't get depressed, you don't have fears and doubts, because you're always in the present with the work at hand, and no aimless thinking. It is this aimless thinking that gives us all the trouble. I'll give you a little illustration. Say somebody hurt you, blamed you, and you got angry. Well, that hurt and blame is just momentary. How many times do you think of it? Just a memory. You are being obsessed by your memory, because that incident, you have put it into your memory and you are able to recall at will. Just like your computer, you save in the memory. So you save rubbish in the memory, it will come back to you again and again. That kind of thing is the thing that makes and bugs us in daily living. If we know that that incident, somebody scolded me, is finished, then we don't refer to it again and again. That is the way we can forgive the world. If you remember it again and again, it becomes a ever new drama, and you relive it, and you get suffer with it. Just there's nobody scolding you out there. It's only a memory that you're fighting with. Only a memory. So you become clever to live in the world. You know how to let go of unnecessary rubbish. You know how not to think about it again and again. Because you have discipline in your mind. You are thinking only what you want to think. Anything else you can just dispense with. So you see, your mind is always alert, happy, working at maximum efficiency, no preconceived notions, no fears, no doubts, no worries. You are fully engrossed in the work at hand, whatever work. And then you do a real good job, and you are happy in the present. If you are happy in the present, it's a present that becomes the past, because present is also flowing. From the future it becomes present and it becomes past. So if you are happy in the present, that means the past will be that happiness. And whatever future comes, also you will be happy. So that means finally you are happy in the present, past and future. The only thing that we can capture is the present. Future is not yet come, we don't know. Past is gone. But we can always work with the future, with the present. So this meditation is for you to be ever living in the present and not be bothered about the past or the future. If you have to plan, still you plan in the present. You don't just think about it for hours and days. You plan correctly. Take a piece of paper and pen and plan it, finish. You don't waste so much time just thinking over and over. And when you think, you go wool gathering and you think everything else except the plan. So you see, you become smart, clever. And then you don't worry about things of the past or the future. That way is so important because we can forgive the world. Often people have done wrong things to us that I can understand. The world is not that good. But once we don't dwell on the past or things that happen, then you can forgive. If you remember it again and again, you cannot forgive. You put your own 2 cents worth of and make a big issue out of it, and it keeps on bugging you. It's your own mind that you're fighting with, not with that outsider. The outsider may be sleeping, he may be dead and gone, but you are fighting with your own memory. What is the reason? Because you have no discipline. You don't know how to get rid of this past memory. It's of no use. It's gone. You're only imagining. You're only getting fooled. So, this discipline of keeping your mind strictly in the present is so useful. And only the Buddha gave this advice. So meditation is for you to be ever present and be mindful of the present. So there is this Kayanupassana which will give you the discipline to be in the present. That is contemplating on the body in terms of in and out breathing, or in terms of the 32 parts, the impurities, or in terms of the 4 elements, heat, water, air, and then there are different kinds. I have no time, if not it will take so long, but I would have elaborated on the different forms of Kayanupassana. So fascinating. Then the Buddha speaks of Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu, Khatame Chattaro, what are the 4? And that is Kayanupassana, body contemplation, Atapi Sampajano, with awareness and wisdom. You realize what this body is about. And then what happens? Vineya loke abhidha domanassan. Your greed and hatred for things of the world will vanish. Because you are not dwelling upon the past or the future, you merely see things happening and you let go. And you overcome your greed and your bad habits, and you overcome your anger. Because you don't allow greed and anger to arise again and again, and in your imagination, because you are living in the present. So the Buddha says you will overcome greed and hatred. Vedanasu vedananupasivir. If not, if body contemplation is not possible, you can then contemplate on the feelings, Vedana. There are so many feelings. From morning till night we have feelings. How many feelings have you had in the past? Happy feelings, unhappy feelings, neutral feelings. Where are those feelings? What has happened to the feelings? Yeah. You even can't remember. They come and go, they come and go. They never stay. Good feelings, yes, they come and go. They never stay. Bad feelings, yes, they come and go. They never stay. Neutral feelings, yes, they come and go. So this feeling contemplation is so important, and is also very easy because feelings are there all the time, just as much the breath is with us. From morning till night, if you can think, it's a question of good feelings, bad feelings, or neutral feelings. So if you can understand the nature of feelings, will you be consumed by knowing that feelings come and go? Will you worry about it? Bad feelings? Yes, so let it go. That's the nature of feelings. Good feeling? Yes. You enjoy it, let go. So long as you don't put it into your memory and try to recapture that feeling incident, just in your memory you relive that same drama and get that feeling. Then only it becomes more. If it is a good feeling, also you can recreate that situation and get the good feeling in your mind. It's memory that is doing all that. There is no real situation out there. It's just your imagination. And if it is a bad feeling, yes, you can also recreate that situation and remember it, and then again get stuck with anger and resentment. It is your own doing, not anyone out there. If you are a meditator, you understand the way with feelings, you will know how to deal with them. Feelings, yes, they come and go. Don't worry about them. Bad feelings, it's a bad feeling. You understand it. You recognize it. You don't give it too much attention and allow it to pass. If it is a good feeling, also, yes, it's a good feeling. You enjoy it, allow it to pass. You have more greed, then you put it into the memory and then try to get that same feeling again and again. And then what do? Are you satisfied with one good feeling? Are you? No? Two good feelings? Satisfied? How many good feelings do you want? 100? Till you die? Yeah, we want good feelings. Huh? Now when you crave for good feelings, what are you building up? Wanting good feelings, wanting. Either through the eye, something nice to see, you like, good feeling. Or something nice to hear, somebody is singing your praises and saying nice things to you, you like it. And nice smells, nice taste, bodily touch. So you get feelings through these 5 sense doors throughout the day. And what happens in your mind? You build up what? For good feelings you build up what? More. What is that? Craving. For bad feelings you build up anger, resentment. So when you contemplate on feelings, then also you see the real state of your life, that you are a victim to your feelings. Then you know how not to be victimized by feelings. Good feeling, yes, enjoy it, let go. Bad feeling, yes, it is hurtful, let go. So you know how to deal with feelings. Now I want to ask you a question. Generally, it's a general question. In a day, do you get more good feelings, or more bad feelings, or more neutral feelings? What do you get? In a day, generally, I'm asking. Let me see those who say bad feelings are more. Nobody. Huh? No?
Maybe.
Bad feelings are more. Let me see those who say good feelings are more. Be honest. Let me see those who say neutral feelings are more. Well, you are right. Neutral feelings are more. But what happens is, when they are neutral feelings, they are as good feelings. You just let go and then take it for granted. And you don't worry about it, neither are you so happy about it. You just let go. They are easy to let go, neutral feelings. They are not hard. Then out of good and bad feelings, what do you get more in a day, generally? Yeah? Yes, Sujata? Good feelings.
It depends on the day. Huh? It depends on the day.
Depends on the day. Oh, well, all right. I'm just asking a general question. Depends on your whole life, maybe. In your life. Oh, right? Oh.
Your memory.
Huh?
And your memory.
Huh?
When I have a good memory, I can remember lots of bad things long ago.
Now, I will tell you. Actually, we get good feelings. More good feelings. All the feelings we get are good feelings. Happy things around when you come to England. So many roses and beautiful everywhere. Nice things to see. Nice things to hear. People are nice and kind. I mean, through the day, there are more good feelings coming through the eye and ear and the smells which you like. There are very few smells which you can't, which you dislike. There are very few sights that you can't tolerate. There are very few sounds of speech that you can't tolerate. Most of it, 99%, maybe 90%, are good feelings. Now my question is this. What you eat also, things in this country I don't think you can find except the very best. And you have very good food and bodily feelings. It's very rare that you will get an unhappy bodily feeling, a scratch or cut or some touch of somebody you don't like. They are very rare. Generally you get good feelings through all the sense doors. But what is the reason some say we have more bad feelings?
Remember the good.
Yeah? This is the Kama Loka. This is a kind of a paradise. It's not an animal world, it is not a hell world, it is not a yaka or subhuman. That is, they get always unhappy feeling. But human beings get happy feelings. But the trouble is, happy feelings are taken for granted and you just allow it to pass. But this unhappy feeling hurts you and you resent it and you put it into the memory and remember it for days and months and make it more by talking about it, by thinking about it, by doing some retaliation, by action like that, and then you make a big issue. That is why the unhappy feelings are more. If you know exactly that it is an unhappy feeling and let go, you will find there are very few compared to the good feelings. You see? The trouble is, good feelings you take for granted. Neutral feelings you take for granted. Only this painful feeling you become very angry because it is the painful sensation. Good feelings are easy to bear. Neutral feelings are easy to bear. But anger, resentment is difficult to bear. Unhappy feelings are difficult to bear. That is why you make a note of it. That is why you want to fight it. That is why you want to get rid of it. That is why you are consumed by it. If you know that it is just another feeling, then you know how to allow it to pass. Then you Just finish, switch it off then and there. It's only a feeling. It comes and goes. It is nothing permanent. Due to causes and conditions, due to the eye and maybe some sight, or due to sound, the ear and sound. If somebody is scolding me, all right, I will tell you. If he is scolding me in French and German, do I get angry? I don't know. I will even laugh because I can hear only sounds. But if somebody scolds me in English or in Sinhala, then I get angry. Why? They are both scolding. Now the question is this: am I getting angry because of my condition or because of the outside source? If it's the outside source, they are both scolding. I should be angry. You see, it's me that is computing, me that is understanding, and me that is resenting, and me that is trying to fight it and get rid of it. So the problem is me, not the outside. When you understand that all bad feelings are like that, it's just that you don't know how to tackle it. And then you become victimized by it because you make it more. That is why you feel that in a day you have more bad feelings. Really you don't have. There are very few and once in a way. But the good feelings are more. This is a karma loka. This is a swarga loka. This is not a apaya or hell world. So all of us have happy feelings all the time. So if you know how to, you can enjoy every moment of the day. And you know how to get rid of bad feelings then and there, without thinking about it, a second thought. That is what meditation becomes. So when you do your concentration, you know how to deal with thoughts, deal with feelings, deal with bodily conditions. You understand the impermanence of feelings, that they are not for all times. They come and go. So let go. The Buddha compares feelings to wind. There's the eastern wind that comes and goes. There's the western wind. There is the dust wind. They come and go. There's a cold wind that comes and goes. Do you by any chance try to arrest this wind and keep it? You can't do it. Just like that. The feelings come. Good feelings, bad feelings. They come and go. Why do you want to arrest it? Just watch them coming and going. Don't get involved with them. Just enjoy it, let it go. If it's a bad feeling, just let it go. Just watch them coming and going. That is feeling contemplation. I like to refer to a little illustration given by Ajahn Chah. He says, if you want to go and see the trains, go to the train station and see them. One will come and go, another one will come and go, and another one will come and go. You can watch them coming and going. You can see any number of trains. By some chance, you get into the train and get driven away with the train, then you can't see trains anymore. You understand? Just like that. The feelings, you just watch the feelings come and go. Don't get carried away with the feelings. If you get carried away with the feelings, you can't watch feelings anymore. Then you become victimized by that. You see? So there are so many ways in which we can take care of our feelings without becoming engrossed, being impelled, compelled, and without making it more by thinking, by memory and imagination. All of it is working full time, but for a meditator it doesn't happen. For a meditator, you are quite sure of your stand. When it's a bad feeling, you let go. It's a good feeling, yes, you enjoy it, let go. You don't put it in the memory and savor it again and again. Neither do you talk about it. Then it easily gets vanquished. So that is about feelings. So if you are inclined to watch your feelings, then you can do that. That's also one of the 4 Satipatthanas, the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Then the Buddha says, Chitte chittanupassi virati atapi sampajano satimavane. If not, then contemplate on your chitta, the thoughts that come and go. They are also just like the feeling. Angry thought. You watch your angry thought. You see it. As soon as you see it, the angry thought will vanish. Because the seeing, the angry thought cannot see another angry thought. These are all mental qualities. You yourself must see it. Nobody else can see it. Your angry thought you see with the thought of wisdom. If wisdom doesn't arise, mindfulness doesn't arise, then you keep on going with the angry thought. The moment mindfulness comes, it intercepts that concatenation with mindfulness and wisdom. And then the angry thought falls away, and the wisdom, awareness, mindfulness, that takes precedence. But if the mindfulness is weak and your wisdom is weak, then again it will fall away and that anger will arise and take its place. So that is how it happens, the scheme. But once you know what it is, you become so clever that you can recognize your anger at once, and at once you switch it off at a mental level. Before you can relate it by means of speech and action. Once you have said and done things, then of course you have committed the offense. But if you see it, the anger at a mental level, and get rid of it, switch it off, then it doesn't cause any harm to you or to anyone else. So if you are a meditator, you become so clever with the present that you at once recognize your anger. You know, anger is a habit. Non-anger is also a habit. So when you practice for some time, and you know how to dispel your anger by watching it and by not being consumed by it with mindfulness and wisdom, and you see it coming and you see it going, and then you watch out and say, well, I have no more anger. But if the mindfulness and wisdom becomes low, again the anger will come. Then again you have to use your mindfulness and wisdom to overcome it. Then there is a small battle going on in your mind. There is wisdom on one side and there is anger on one side. It's like a powerful man pushing down a weak man. If this powerful man is weak, then he can't push him down. Then the anger will take over. If the mindfulness is weak and the wisdom is weak, then anger will take over. If the mindfulness is very strong, that's why meditation is important. When you are used to meditation, your mindfulness and wisdom is very keen. And at once you can catch the robbers that come to your mental household. Sometimes it can be a thought of greed, it can be a thought of lust, it can be a thought of pride and conceit, or it can be a thought of fear or jealousy or any of the defilements, as soon as they arise, if you are mindful and with wisdom, you can watch it. As soon as you see it, it falls away. Because no two thoughts can arise at the same time. If it is wisdom, then anger has to come down. Just like you can't see light with light. You can't see darkness with darkness. You have to see darkness with light and dispel it. So if you think this anger is darkness, then wisdom is your torch. The torch, as soon as you flash your torch, you can see your anger. And two thoughts don't arise at the same time. When the wisdom has arisen, already the anger falls away. But if your torch is not powerful enough, then again the anger will come. So that is why to make the thought powerful only we need meditation. Again and again we need meditation. We need concentration. We need to understand the working of this body and the working of the mind. Then only that we are able to think what we want to think and not think what we don't want to think. And everything is thinking. If the thinking is right, then speech and action is right. If the thinking is wrong, then speech and action is wrong. So everything revolves around the mind. So we can take care of the mind and we can take care of the body. And there are many, many ways that Satipatthana is really vipassana and development of wisdom. Wisdom of impermanence, wisdom of the non-self. Now see, is it you or some outside source that is bringing up your anger or your happiness? So you are dependent on outside things. So you find that is it me or my ignorance that is bringing up anger? Is it me or my wisdom that is bringing up non-anger? Me or wisdom? Is it me or wisdom that is bringing up non-greed? Is it me or ignorance that is bringing up greed? Because you see, greed, hatred and ignorance are a category. Non-greed, non-hate and wisdom are a category. If there is wisdom, it always brings up non-greed and non-hate. If there is ignorance, it brings up greed and hatred. So finally, who is the culprit who is bringing up all this? Is it greed? Is it ignorance or wisdom? If it is wisdom, you are always with non-greed and non-hate. If it is ignorance, you are always with greed and hate. So finally it is not me, but greed, but ignorance and wisdom that are playing the whole truant. You see? So there are many, many things that will unfold to you as you keep on going. I think my time is gone. I wish I can ask you a few questions here and then. I'm very sorry that we got stuck on the road for 2.5 hours. It was pretty bad agony for us. We wanted to, we came well in time. I'm so sorry. Siddhartha and I were suffering. So now I would like to invite you to ask me a few questions. Maybe we'll take 5 minutes extra. Okay, Venerable says you can stay even longer than 5 minutes. Yes, please. I'm a bit short of hearing, and also I can't get the accent.
And I've only got one hearing aid.
Will you come here, please?
Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm short of hearing too.
Huh?
I'm short of hearing too.
You are very
Short of hearing.
surely okay.
But I've got one hearing aid in
Good.
and one hearing aid out.
I don't know hearing aid.
The battery packed up in the other one. Okay. You talking to that here? Which is, if you're feeling have unwanted thoughts,
Huh?
if you have unwanted thoughts
If you have an unwanted thought
and feeling
and pain
and feeling,
and feeling,
yeah, and you were talking about letting it go or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, are you consciously turning it off?
Yeah.
Is it like a flicking the switch? Or are you, is your simple awareness that that thought is there and that feeling is there enough to switch it off?
Well, it is a simple awareness that switches it off automatically.
Yeah.
As soon as you are aware, that means already wisdom has dawned.
Mm.
Then automatically it falls away. If your wisdom is not strong enough, then again that feeling can come from memory. So if you are clever enough, then you will be with wisdom and mindfulness long enough to dispel it altogether. But it can come again and again. You can apply wisdom and mindfulness again and again until it is vanquished. Several times you can try. Sometimes if it is too hard, 10 times, 20 times you can try. And see that it is only the mind playing tricks. It is not somebody hurting you out there. It is just that your own mind is playing tricks. Then when you understand it fully, you know you are being a fool, just pure ignorance. You are staying with this. Then you give it up. Finally you give it up. That is automatic switching off. Okay? Thank you. You hear quite well.
I do. So do you.
Bhikkhuni, but it takes a lot of training.
You
know what you told him, that you let it go over and over again. It takes a lot of training. It doesn't happen overnight or.
No. Once you get used to it, it becomes your normal habit. Once you get used to it, then it comes pretty fast. Then for you to get angry is a problem. You don't want, right? Why should I suffer? When somebody is doing the wrong thing, why should I suffer? I quickly switch off. It becomes a habit of the mind. It's a training, all right. At the beginning it will be difficult for you because you will forget it. But as you keep on with it, you get used to it. Okay. I'm so happy to hear you say something because I have a feedback. Otherwise I even don't know whether anything has clicked. And I'm quite ignorant. Maybe you ask some more questions.
Could it not be the fact that you meditate?
It doesn't.
Could it not be the fact that because when you meditate,
I have that answer.
could it not be the fact that when you meditate, the mind automatically ignores any bad thoughts?
At the moment of meditation, the mind, if you are strongly involved in the meditation, then it will not entertain any other thought. That's at the time, at the moment of meditation. But I am saying in daily living. What I said applies to daily living. During the time of meditation, with a little effort, you can keep all extraneous thoughts. If you get into samadhi, no extraneous thought. Then it is pure joy and you enjoy it. But out there in the field, when you are not meditating and these things come, that is how to deal with them. Okay. that you are able to relate it, practice it in daily living. If you don't have that practice, maybe you don't have samadhi, or you don't have meditation, then it is difficult for you to tackle your mind in daily living. If you know the art through meditation, then only you know how to apply it. Nobody can do that for you, because only you know your mind. That is why even the Buddha can't do that for us. Otherwise he would have made all of us arahants. He can't. Nobody can do it. So you have to do it. You are the master. You are the person who is bringing up all this unnecessary unhappiness for yourself. But if you know what it is, you know how to get rid of it.
What advice would you give to busy people in London, rushing around? What advice would you give to people in London, busy people?
Busy people.
Busy, yes.
Busy.
No,
very busy.
Busy, like you getting stuck in a traffic jam for 2.5 hours.
Well, we of course enjoyed the 2.5 hours. We had so many things to laugh and talk about. We should never get. We were not worried like that, but we were only worried for you. But that didn't matter. Huh?
The daily battle.
You mean the daily battle, when people are all flustered and rushing from one thing to another. Well, it's a question of how much money you want, and how much work you can do, and how you can cut your coat according to that, tailor it. So if you want to do more, and you want more luxuries, and your job is not good, and your job is too much demanding, then of course you can't help it. It's a physical thing. So then you must know how to avoid such situation. Get a job that is easy. The Buddha always says get a job easy. So you are not reduced to mature at the end of the day. You can still come home and enjoy yourself. And be satisfied with little, the Buddha says. Don't go for the maximum, the best. Go for the second best. And you have more time, more money, and you are satisfied with little. So many things that go to make you restless and so involved and so busy that you have no time to think, you have no time to enjoy. When you meditate and you do less work, every moment is happiness. Because we have less work, we can easily cope with it. It is not a problem anymore. So we must do only work that does not tire us endlessly. So that is one thing. And not take things hard. When things are there, you just leave it. You know the art of not taking it hard and making an issue out of it and suffering with it. You just let go. Give everybody the peace and comfort. A lot of compassion, a lot of metta, a lot of forgiving, a lot of compliments to others, seeing the good rather than seeing the bad. So many tricks like that, that makes your mind happy all the time. And when you are in the Dhamma, you know how to make yourself happy and how to make others happy. How to sacrifice for others and get pleasure. I sacrifice for 100 people, all those 100 people sacrifice for me. Isn't that an advantage? If you don't sacrifice for anyone, nobody will sacrifice for me. Okay? As simple as that. So when we learn the art of giving and forgiving and sacrificing and doing your best and not expecting returns. If you expect returns, of course everything goes down to naught. Don't expect returns for whatever you do, but the returns will come double-fold, multiple-fold. So Whatever you do all the possible good in the world. Every opportunity to do good, you must grab at it and do it. It is for your own good. They have their returns. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, it will come. That is the nature. Okay?
Thank you.
Can I ask you something?
There's another question.
You said something about 4 Satipatthanas.
Yeah. The last one I didn't say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't say it because the Dhammanupassana is fairly deep and it has many categories. So there is no time at all even to refer to it. But it is most fascinating if you want to know Dhammanupassana, the mind objects, how to overcome your defilements, how to do your meditation and how to develop your awareness, Sambojjhanga, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the internal and external sense bases. It's a big, so I didn't refer to it. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me also.
Thank you very much.
So I'm so happy. I'm sorry also that I couldn't conduct a meditation, but I'm sure Venerable would have done a wonderful job of it. And you are constantly meditating. And please keep up with your meditation. It is so useful. Not only for your sake, you must be able to teach your near and dear and see that they also get into it. Because this world is such confusion. You can't live in this world unless you know about this mind and body system. So, thank you very much for being with us. And I thank the Venerable.
You do some charity work, if you like.
A little bit of charity work I didn't want to mention. Shall I?
Yeah.
Huh? A little bit? He wants me to mention the charity work I'm doing. It's really in the north, just after the war, we had a very bad, and they are building up. And I went myself to the east, to Trinco, and found a whole village, 200 families, having nothing, not even a cloth, not even a dress to change. No water, no road, no electricity, and they were, I don't know how they are living with the minimum. So I promised them I will make, they wanted a Waka Linda, it means a community well, a huge well, which has a big capacity to store water. And also they wanted a community hall, because there was one woman who said she has done 2 years of preschool teaching, and she can take over the teaching if there is a hall. And there are many little kids around. So I promised that at that moment I thought I'm going to England, I might mention this to you. But I'm so grateful to you, Venerable, that you reminded me. I thought I was not going to mention it. But maybe, if you like, you can, for the well, construction of the well, and a small community. It doesn't take much money because they're self-help, they burn the bricks, they dig, they do it. What we have to give is a minimum for cement and labor and food and things like that. They will be able to do it themselves.
If anybody would like to give towards the beginning charity, I have a phone.
You didn't bring your bowl.
Yes, the water. You'll be happy when the water gushes out, and then it broke my heart. That's why I said I will somehow try and do this for you.
We hope to collect again the next Observance Day, July. There will be a big gathering again, observing the 8 precepts. We thought we'll mention it then because we can send it to her even later. This lady, Sujata, is...
Sujata can take care of it.
Yes. So those who can't give anything today,
it's not big money that we want just small money.
Yes.
They will do it on a sort of a shamadana basis, self-help. But we need to do that little thing, that otherwise they can't manage. So thank you very much for being with me. And shall we share the merit that we made?
Yes.
With the divine beings and our dear departed relations. Because we have done a lot of merit these 2 hours. I'm sure your minds were so full of non-greed, non-hate and wisdom and all wholesome thoughts. So our collective thoughts that have created so much wholesomeness in this atmosphere, in the environment, we have now created these good and wholesome thoughts. So we can share it with the divine beings and our dear departed relations. Okay? May we chant. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahitika Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakantu Lokasasanam. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahitika Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakantu Desanam. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahitika punyantam anumoditva chiram rakantu mantaram. Idam voyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idam voyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idam voyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. May you be blessed. May you progress in your meditation. And may you find real peace and comfort and nibbana in this very life. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and giving a wonderful talk. We enjoyed very much.